An iconic Selena Quintanilla interview that almost never happened. Did you know that this was likely the last interview she did in San Antonio? It was right after she performed at the Alamodome, March 18th, 1995. I'm Sarah Fergani, and I sat down with the reporter in that video. But first, I want you to hear the full interview, and then you'll meet him.
Okay, we've got the La Reina, the current queen of Tejano music, Selena. And Selena, you're here, the star attraction of the Stay in School Jamboree. Why is it important for you to come and, talk to the kids about staying in school?
I'm all for education, therefore I think it's really important to take the time for programs like this. I'm really surprised with the turnout. I think it's great. It's a good sign that kids want to do something good for themselves, and it's great to see the turnout here today. It's great.
And it's great to send home the message when you're doing the bitty bitty bamba stuff.
Yeah, I was doing the bitty bitty bom bom thing. I couldn't hear myself. I was like literally going off, the feedback in the place because the Alamodome is so huge. But it was fun. The kids loved it. It was great.
It was kind of like, let's see, the biggest cheers were for Dennis Rodman and for yourself. So you're in the Dennis Rodman class now.
No, well, I wouldn't say that. I mean, the guy's taller than me. He's got red, what color hair does he have right now?
He's yellow.
Yellow hair. I'm short. I got black hair. I don't know.
All right. Thank you very much, Selena.
Thank you.
Good. Thank you very much.
Maury Vasquez, former reporter here at KENS 5. And when I say former, we're talking about like 30 years ago.
We're talking, it was the 90s. It feels like yesterday, but my hairline proves it was not yesterday.
I saw the video.
Yeah, that hair looks damn good.
It did look good. I mean, I only see a few more grays, and that's it. You look just
one or
the same,
two.
Maury.
One or two.
That video is amazing. I had a chance to watch it over and over, and I think what was so amazing about it is you really got to see Selena's personality in it. But you were on the scene that day talking to Selena, but you were a sports guy, right?
I was a sports guy.
So how did you end up interviewing Selena?
Well, that's what had me there, sports. That Saturday morning, the Spurs hosted the NBA Stay in School Jamboree for 1995. And it was an event where you had Dennis Rodman, David Robinson, Sean Elliott. They showed up, represent the Spurs. Hey, kids, stay in school. Alamodome, Spurs side. They had a great crowd.
And Selena was performing.
Selena was performing. Also the band before Selena, 2 Unlimited. You know who 2 Unlimited is?
I do not.
2 Unlimited is the band that plays dun 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 dun. Go!
Yeah.
Y'all ready for this? So those guys played, but Selena was the headliner. And so she came out, she did a little medley, 3 songs and stuff. But we interviewed 2 Unlimited on the side. But for Selena, we knew, well, there's her bus. Her bus is Alamodome days, back with the Spurs. Alamodome's so big, right? It's real big, real big. Well, the Spurs would only use a chunk of it. So there was a big blue curtain at the end of where, the court would run. There was a big curtain. Well, Selena's bus, you could drive it into the Alamodome then. So her bus is waiting. Me and photographer Rick Gonzalez, I just said, hey, let's wait here. Let's try to get Selena for a quick live look.
So this was not even planned.
No, it's not planned. We're just getting stuff. All this segment, I was going to make a video for the young KENS 5 Saturday morning show, which was on the air at that time. I would provide sports segments, just fill a little time with some sports.
Now, were you a Selena fan at the time?
I was a Selena fan at the time. I had competed in a very fun. They had this thing called Tejano Media. I'd been in town a couple of years, but Tejano Media play a softball game against Selena y los Dinos. And so I got to meet her a couple of times, interview her a couple of times, but she didn't know me. It's just, I'm just TV guy.
Yeah. So you were out in the parking lot.
We're not in the parking lot. We're in the dome. We're in the dome. We're in the dome, just outside the curtain, outside the floor. And here comes the Dinos. They hop in the band, and Selena, hey, Selena, can we ask you a couple of questions? Just real quick, just 1, 2, 3. And she goes, yes, let's do it. Abraham Quintanilla is behind her and says, Selena, we don't got time. She goes, Daddy, we got time. Aww. I can do this.
Because that's the kind of person she was.
She was amable. She was corazón. She goes, yes, I got time. Let's do this. So we go through the live look TV talk. You ask 3 questions, pretending you're live, and then back to you type of thing. Well, after we go through the 1, 2, 3 questions, then Selena's, she's bouncing.
And she did the bitty bitty bamba for you.
Yes. Well, after we went through it, I turned to the photographer, Rick. I go, hey, you got that? And he says, I got most of the first answer. My battery died.
Oh.
My battery died? What do you mean my battery died? Hey, do you have another one? He goes, I have another one in the car. Now, in the car means outside. I turn to Selena, and Selena looks at me and says, "I can wait." So Rick's he's hauling, he's running outside in the truck, in the bus. Abraham Quintanilla, beep beep, Selena, we gotta go. They had a date in Houston that night, and it turns out when Rick comes back, plugs in, what you see today is take 2. It's the second time she went through it, and she still was as nice. She still was herself. She still was doing the bitty bitty bom bom. And that's the essence of Selena. It's just, she was magical. She was herself. She made time for local media, and then she went on her way.
And it's great to send home the message when you're doing the bitty bitty bamba
I
stuff.
was doing the bitty bitty bom bom thing. I couldn't hear myself.
It runs about a minute and a half.
Right.
Was that the most interesting interview you've ever done? I know you've met so many people. I mean, that's got to be one of the one of the ones that are really memorable for you.
It was fun at the time. It was just fun. It was great energy. But 13 days later, it became poignant. It became whoa. And as it happened that day, when she was shot in Corpus, I was on the job, and we were just, me and Rick, the same photographer, we were driving to a sports shoot. Well, he got called on the 2-way on the radio to say, "Hey, we need the live truck, Rick. We need you. Selena's been shot in Corpus, and we're gonna need everybody just head back."
And you had just talked to her a week before.
It was 13 days before.
13 days before.
So as we're driving back, it hits me. I go, "Dude, we have that video. We have the raw video," because I was notorious for just hanging on to raw tapes. I wouldn't give it back to photographers. "We have the raw video. It's on the desk." So I call the desk, talk to the producers. I say, "We're stuck in traffic. We're going somewhere else, but go to my desk, look for a tape that says Selena Raw," and it has a live look with Selena, and it was her last appearance in San Antonio.
So that was the last interview in San Antonio, as far as you know.
As far as I know, that's the last interview she did in San Antonio. Yes. A little side note, I'm from Mercedes, Texas, the Rio Grande Valley. Another guy from the valley had just interviewed her in the dressing room. When she walked out, then we did our interview, and then she got on the bus and left. But yes, that's the way I understood. She wasn't back in San Antonio again, and unless somebody interviewed her from San Antonio. But again, that was the last interview Selena did in San Antonio.
And that was actually at the height of her career. I mean, at that point, she was already doing world tours. She had so many fans, and what struck me as it's just incredible watching it, because you could see how humble she was when she told you at one point. She goes, "I'm surprised by the turnout here." She didn't expect all these people to turn up for the Alamodome, even though she had already become so popular.
On a Saturday, just talking about, because this was in the morning. It was, say, 9 to 11, 9 to noon. It was an early morning thing that they did. But yes, she got the biggest cheers. She was amazed by the turnout. She was kind of believing, like, no, the Spurs are bigger than me. Well, no, a lot of the kids, they wanted to dance with you. The Spurs knew what they were doing, because she was the last performer. She was the headliner. They knew what they were doing. Yeah. And she was on the cusp. I mean, she already was La Reina, the Queen of Tejano, along with Emilio. They had risen the genre to new heights. And it was blowing up for both of them. And she'd already cut her English album. So imagine the crossover that was waiting to happen. And if you know the artists that we listen to today, Selena could have been that big crossover pioneer.
But you know what's amazing? She is still.
She still is. And she got bigger. She got bigger since her passing.
She did, because I remember moving to the States, and I didn't know much about Selena at the time. I was a little girl coming in from a different country. And then I got introduced to her songs, including Dreaming of You, and I Could Fall in Love with You, the English pop songs. And I instantly fell in love with her songs, and to this day, I play them all the time.
Yes,
I love them, and I became a huge Selena fan, even though I don't understand Spanish. I love her Spanish songs, but also the English ones. So she did cross over. It was there. She's got new fans and a new generation that loves it.
It continues to happen. Her Houston rodeo concert is one of it's legendary. People are wanting the way I saw on social media the Ken's interview. Somebody cleaned it up real well, because the link I had on YouTube, it was just like VHS-y, kind of funky. And people are looking for a copy of that Houston Astrodome one, because it's just, again, iconic. It was a moment, and then taken away in an instant, and which it crushed her fan club. It crushed her people, the community. Again, it just it's still hard. It's 30 years in a blink when you try to look back at that.
And I had a chance to interview some of the people who were pretty close to her, and they said she had a really big heart for children. And when you were talking to her in that interview, she tells you about, you know, how passionate she is about promoting education and making sure that the kids turn up and making sure the kids are involved.
She was excited to see so many kids out there, again, supporting something about just stay in school. That was the message back then. Stay in school. Don't drop out. Finish the job. Learn while you're there. And yeah, she was a big supporter of that. You could see it in her eyes. You could hear it in her voice.
I'm all for education, therefore I think it's really important to take the time for programs like this. I'm really surprised with the turnout. I think it's great. It's a good sign that kids want to do something good for themselves, and it's great to see the turnout here today.
Again, the smile, electric. I love when people say, they look at that video, they go, "Aye, she touched you, touched you on the shoulder." You damn right, you know. I mean, it.
You take pride in it to this day. You're like, Selena touched me.
Yeah, ahí está. She was a natural. She wasn't like some person before the light went on. She was the same one again.
She was genuine.
9 times out of 10, when you say, "Hey, you know, battery died," and you know, Dad is honking the tour bus.
Yeah.
Most people are going to get on the bus.
Right, especially musicians. I mean, you see it all the time. They don't have the time.
They don't have the time.
Constantly going.
I can wait.
Yeah.
I can wait. And she could see the panic in my eyes. Then and poor Rick, he goes, "I got most of the." It's like, my goodness, but
and I think
it's magical. It's magical.
That's why people are drawn to her.
Yes.
Because she just had that. You can tell she loved people. And in turn, people loved her because you could see that in the video. You could see her smile, her big old smile, and she's glowing in it. And especially when you guys started talking about Dennis Rodman, that was hilarious. Tell me about that moment.
Well, again, it's just because, you know, Dennis Rodman was still, he was a San Antonio fan fave, his first year in San Antonio. Mm-hmm. And so when he's introduced, man, he's got that, just the flaming hair that he had. You know, he was a blue collar guy that San Antonio adored. So. But I did notice, I mean, Selena's roars were just as loud as D-Rod. And so when I try to give it to her, she's like, "Well, I'm short, I'm tall, color." But again, it's back to what you were talking about earlier. Maybe she didn't see how big or believe how big she was and about to become and about to explode across not only San Antonio and Texas and northern Mexico, but across the nation. It's again genuine, humble, real. That's Selena.
You have one of the most iconic interviews of Selena. It's one of the ones that are played all the time, and it was toward the very end, as you mentioned. You know, just 13 days before she passed away, and you could just really see Selena shine in it.
That's the magic of video, the magic of capturing a moment. I know we all we didn't have screens back then.
Yeah.
Now we do. I'm a believer in take the picture, roll the video, capture the moment. And
do you ever sit back and watch that interview again?
Yes, I do. I love. First time I showed my granddaughter, she has this beautiful Selena bucket hat that she likes to wear styling. It looks so just weird, but I stick it on her.
How
and she
old
loves
is your
it.
granddaughter?
She is 6.5. She's 6, but she's been listening to
Selena.
Yeah, she's been listening to Selena for many times. We dance to Selena on TikTok. We do all that stuff. But when I first showed her that video, she kind of was, and she looked at me.
Grandpa, is that you?
She goes, "Wait, what happened to your hair?" As she points to the screen. "What happened to your hair?" Well, you know, it is 30 years later. It is 30 years later. Hard to believe, but what a moment. I'm glad we continue to celebrate her music, her life, her heart, just what she brought. And because that's how legends live forever.
Yes, we keep her memory alive.
Tell and retell the stories over and over again.
Celebrate her songs, her interviews. I could tell you when I was editing her pieces this week for the tribute, I really sat there and watched your interview, and there was another one where she was sitting next to Nelson Wolff, and they were talking, and it was same thing. You could just see that big old smile that she has that took over. The minute she smiled, you couldn't
Always.
help, you couldn't see anyone around her. You just stared at Selena because she just had that about her.
Always, always. And you mentioned Mayor Nelson Wolff, another part of San Antonio history that Selena's played a part on, where we also, Ken's Five, hey fam, Ken's Five was hired to produce a special for the opening of the Hard Rock Cafe, the one downtown, in 1993. Bridget Smith and myself co-hosted it. You know, the cool people, right? You know, come on. So on the show that night were Aerosmith, Cheap Trick, and Selena. Selena was there as well. So that was the first time that I got to interview her with something, or with a place, or be in a scene with her like that. So again, she's from Corpus, but she loves San Antonio.
Yeah,
she loves San Antonio.
Maury, I just want to tell you, even though it's been a few decades, you're still a cool person.
Well, I try to fake
You're still
it.
cool people.
I try to fake it one day at a time, people. To be continued.
Hey, you're doing good. You're doing good. Thank you so much for coming and sharing this amazing story about Selena. I always wonder what's the story behind the story, right? You see this interview play out. You see those moments that are captured, and you sit back and you go, I wonder how that interview came. You know, so to me, to find out from you that it wasn't even planned, I mean, wow, you got lucky to meet her and grab that interview and to just have a chance to, you know, really get that close with her, you know, to talk so personal with her. It was quite amazing. It
really was. And I know you've been there. Tell me, you have to have been there when you turn to the photographer and he goes, well, my battery died.
Oh, I would have a heart attack. I'm like, what do you mean your battery died right now? Wait a minute. And back then you didn't have iPhones. Like now if this happened, I would pull out my iPhone and be like, don't worry, I got you out here.
Not anymore.
But back then you didn't have anything. I mean, you solely relied on the photographer.
And so, yes. But again, just her patience, his hustle to bust it, because he has to run the length. Imagine a football field. He's got to go the length of the Alamodome outside to the parking lot, then run all the way back.
And she waited
And while
the whole
Selena's
time.
just sitting there, we're just sitting there talking, small talking, and beep, beep, let's go, Selena. I can wait, Daddy. We got time.
The more I hear about her from people who knew her or met her, the more I love her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without question.
Maury Vasquez,
Dap.
thank you.
Peace
Thank
and love.
you. Yes. Peace and love. And for Selena. Anything for Selena. Thank you.